great name on their roster. We're now joined by Alvin Brooks, the third national championship.
0.
Whoop. Is that him?
That was him. Hold on. I had him on.
Okay. Alvin, that's kind of a tough segue. We'll have Alvin Brooks, the third part of that national championship staff at Baylor. They play Oregon tomorrow. And speaking of Oregon, James Crepea will join us. He writes for the Oregonian on Dan Lanning and also that game between Baylor and Oregon as well tomorrow night. So that's I got Will McDonough, Xavier Hutchinson. McDonald. Okay, excuse me. Royce O'Neal. I keep getting that name wrong. Royce O'Neal, former Baylor star, went to high school, of course, at Harker Heights in Killeen. He is going to be honored by his alma mater sometime in January. They're going to retire his number of Royce O'Neal. We're now joined by national championship coach Alvin Brooks III of Baylor. They play in Oregon tomorrow. They've already made the road trip. Alvin, thanks for your time. How do you feel? Thanks for your time and happy holidays. How do you feel unbeaten, number one in the country, just hammered Villanova? Has the team handled coming off what was the national championship and expectations for this year?
First of all, happy holidays and thanks for having me. I think the biggest thing is we have the mindset of we already own one national championship, and so now we're chasing another one. And so this team had a lot to prove, obviously losing 4 starters. The expectations from the outside world wasn't as high. And so we just have to make sure that we work extremely hard and continue to have the same goals that we always have.
Coach, the defensive mindset continues to go, and as you lose leaders, sometimes you wonder what's been passed down. What did the last team pass down? Clearly, your defense held with the guys who came back. What was the key in those guys really taking it in and believing it, and not trying to change into a different style because it's a different team this year?
I think the biggest thing is just continue to have the habits that we installed and we helped build last year. And, we obviously had a lot of success with it. So if it's not broke, then why try to change? And so, a big, claps for our returning guys on helping setting the tone on what we expect. And, obviously the younger guys kind of have helped by blending it in. And I think our guys are playing at a high level defensively. So we got to make sure that it traveled on the plane with us out here to Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel about that performance against Villanova? Had a lot of people across the country talking. I think maybe some people that hadn't watched you guys maybe just yet this year were put on notice and realized very quickly, oh, man, there's not a drop-off from last year. What was just kind of the mentality going into that Nova game, and how did you guys feel coming out of that?
Feeling great because, you have guys that not only have the effort that it takes to win at a high level, but they also executed the game plan at a high level. And, basketball is a game of mistakes. So whoever makes the least amount of mistakes have a better chance to win. And I thought our guys were really, really locked in, and we didn't make that many mistakes defensively.
Alvin, you and others scouted what you saw with Jeremy Sohan, with Kendall Brown, and obviously we know Langston Love is out with an injury, but these guys don't seem like they have to learn much. It doesn't mean they can't get better and won't get better, but what did you see from them studying, watching, scouting them, recruiting them on how they could fit right in defensively the way they have?
Well, all three come from great programs, and all three, have been coached before they came to us. And so a lot of it is you try to find people that's in winning cultures and they know what it takes to win, because if you know what it takes to win, you're willing to sacrifice a lot to be able to win. And so, they came from great families and great coaches, and so we're blessed to be able to have them in our family, to be honest.
Coach, what have you seen? I know Oregon's 5-5. What have you seen from the Ducks, though, so far this year?
Very, very talented. I mean, they're extremely talented. They've had some injuries. They've had some misfortunes on, losing games at the buzzer. But, I think a lot of people forget that preseason, they were ranked 12 or 13 in each poll. So the expectations were there for them early in the season, and a lot of that has to do with the talent. And, of course, Coach Altman is a great coach. And so they still haven't lost their coach, and they still haven't lost their talent. And so we got to make sure that we come out tomorrow and make sure that we understand that we're playing against a very good team.
Alvin, and that's, you don't want to give them, not that Oregon can't play well, but you don't want to give them that feeling that maybe if you're off a little bit, that gives them hope in that game?
Oh, no question about it. We want to take all hope away if possible. And so a lot of that is going to have to do with, taking the crowd out the game. I'm sure, reading this is the first time that ever a number one team in the country has ever came to their arena. And so who knows how many fans they will have. And, the more fans that student athletes have, the better they perform. So we have to make sure that we take the crowd out early and kind of just focus on what we do. One
more thing, Alvin, you guys have kind of developed a little rotation. I know last year that thing was almost not, I don't think it was like immediate, but you had so many guys back. Are you already close now to what you think is the rotation?
I think it's game by game, to be honest.
Okay.
We have a lot of different guys. We're blessed to have a lot of talent. And so each game is different. Some games, 3 guards may work better. And some games it may be, a big lineup. And so I think each game is different. And so we kind of go in understanding that we have a lot of great options. And so we kind of just fill it out during the game and kind of go with what we feel is the best after looking at the stats during the game.
All right, I know you got film study. Alvin Brooks III with us, Baylor assistant coach with us on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Yeah, Coach, I was just curious. You've played on the road this year, but this is like the first road game, in an enemy arena, what have you. I know you mentioned the crowd, but do you have to say anything differently to the players in preparation? Do you have to acknowledge it that much, or is it just kind of business as usual? I was just curious from a coaching standpoint.
No, we kind of, I thought Coach did a great job. Coach Drew did a great job before the Villanova game of saying embrace the pressure. Mm-hmm. And we kind of talked about it. I thought College game day, when we played Kansas on College game day, I thought we allowed the habits that we normally have. We didn't execute the habits. And that's because you had a lot of different people around. The crowd was a big crowd. Students slept in the gym the night before. And so I think you tend to not focus on what's really at hand. And so for us, we just saying, hey, embrace the pressure. If there's anything that you want to talk about, if you're nervous, anxious, that's understandable. But you still need to perform at a high level, and whatever it takes to do that, let's talk about it and help each other perform at the highest level possible.
I followed you on your Twitter feed, obviously watching where you are, what you're doing, some of the things we've discussed, what you mean to the Black Coaches Association and how you're involved heavily with that. Your dad, now the head coach at Lamar. You really, really enjoyed the offseason following that national title. Doesn't mean you lost focus on the goal, but that was like the Stanley Cup, it seemed like to me, to you, huh?
Yeah, obviously it's a huge deal. I've been blessed to be a part of 3 national championships, 2 at the junior college level. And, a lot of people ask, well, what's the difference? I think the biggest difference now is I had to tell people that I won 2 national championships in the junior college level. Well, now this one, I think majority of the people know. And so it's a big, big deal. And so we worked extremely hard for it. And it's a lifetime thing, so hopefully I'll be carrying another one soon.
I have to ask now that that was not only a big deal, it's some big rings. How do you decide where you can wear that and where when that when do you break that out? When do you decide that?
I actually it's so big that I really haven't worn it. I put it on just to see how heavy it is, but I haven't worn it to any recruiting things or anything like that. It's just, man, that thing is huge.
You guys got to get Charlie Melton to get you in the weight room to put those damn things on. I'm telling you that right now. So
you're right.
I think he's got an exercise where he just puts one on either side of a bar and you just raise it up.
Yeah, you open up that box though and bling, baby. Those things are nice. Yeah.
Well,
yes, sir, it is.
It's fun to discuss it. It's fun to remember it and enjoy it. And now, good luck with this one, the trip that you've already started with a great win Sunday against Villanova. Good luck in Eugene. And Alvin Brooks III, Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank y'all.
Man, he is. I love talking to him. He is having so much fun with this without losing focus. And now a game on the road. Oregon's lost games to Arizona State and Stanford at basically the buzzer, and another one at the buzzer in overtime. So they're 5-5. It's not been a good start. They were hammered by Brigham Young, hammered by
Houston beat them pretty good.
Houston 78-49 beat them up pretty good, and so did St. Mary's. The Gales are pretty good. Beat them by 12, so those are their 5 losses.
Yeah, Baylor should win this game, but it is a big road challenge because they have not ventured out much. I mean, they ventured out, but it's like tournament play, so it's the same for everybody. You know, going to the Bahamas or whatever. It's not like going to Eugene in the Knight Arena and, you know, Oregon fans. But, you know, I'm curious, too. I wonder what the crowd's going to be like because it is Christmas break for a lot of – I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed around here. You can't tell by the traffic. The traffic still sucks. But it is a little lighter around Waco right now because the students are gone for the most part. Yeah. So I wonder if that maybe will be the case up in Eugene as well. But I'd expect them to win. I don't know how, you know, I'm sure it'll be a bit tough, but this is a very good Baylor men's basketball team.
They got a bullseye on them. And and eventually somebody who's not as good as them is going to beat them in a game because that's just sports and that's how it goes. So they got to be aware of that. But they've got veterans on the team, and so it's one of the things. So it's they've got this game. They've got a couple others before the break, and then they come back after, and it's time to get into conference season. And the teams, I think there's the most losses of a team they face in January is Kansas State, who has 3 or 4 right now. So. Everybody else is pretty much 1 loss or 2 losses or less.
Oh, Iowa State's unbeaten.
Yeah.
And they've beaten good people, too. And that's their conference game, I believe, open up like on January 1st.
All right.